Hello everybody, Jacob Felder here again. We're going to be talking about meditation phenomena that can occur during deep meditation, during theta brainwave frequency, the area of sleep, the area of sleep, early sleep, light sleep, where the deeper states of meditation occur. We're going to be talking about that again today. And we're going to pick up where we left off in my last instructional video. Let me give you a quick reminder. Last instructional video, we talked about visuals beneath the eyelids. We talked about sounds and noises. We talked about physical feelings and sensations. This time, we're going to talk about the stream of consciousness, and we're going to talk about what can happen with the course or the nature of the breath as we move into the deeper states of meditation. All right. Now, if you remember when now some of you haven't seen the video on visuals and sounds and noises and physical feelings and sensations. If you haven't seen that video, you can find it on this is video 10. I think that was video 8. All right, you can find it and get a clear explanation for those three areas and how phenomena works for that. But anyway, as you move into the deeper states, either as a reminder or cueing you in on what can happen, is in the beginning of the deeper states, all of our sensory system, motor sensory system begins to shut down, because we are technically entering an area of sleep, albeit light sleep. And we're either going to be lying down, propping up, or sitting up straight. We're not going to be walking around or standing, because the knees will buckle, just like the head nods when we nod at the wheel. All right, but we can learn how to get there, hold stable there, and now on with the show. I'm going to be, I went through all that just to say, when we move into that area, every sensory system shuts down, things get very distorted, all right? Like their visuals beneath the eyelids begin to change. Things we hear and don't hear begin to change. The feelings, like the body begins to feel like it's floating or sinking and stuff like that. But today we're going to, the same thing happens with the stream of consciousness and the nature of the breath. All right. So it all begins with kind of distortions, at first. Nature, or rather the stream of consciousness, at first, when we're just trying to get into the deeper states, we're having to calm the mind down, and we do that by focusing the mind on something, relaxing the body, and exercising awareness. Just paying attention to what's happening literally within. All right. And so the mind might be a little busy. We continue to relax and keep the mind focused so it doesn't run amok and latch on to busy thought. And then once we cross this line between waking consciousness and sleeping consciousness, you might even forget what your focus was for a moment. You might forget where you are and what you're doing for just a moment, and then the mind clears. Okay, so we're moving deeper now. All right, and then sometimes you'll hear your thoughts. You'll hear your thoughts, and they'll just kind of come in and pass through. So much so that after they pass through, you'll be like, what was that? Wait a minute. And you can't even remember it, Another quick reminder, the reason I'm talking about the phenomena and the progression of, potential phenomena that can happen as you cross this line is so that you, when you're moving into the deeper states, you will have a better idea of where you are along the stream of consciousness, okay? So at first, there might just be a couple little glitches to where you forget what's going on and what you're doing and where you are, and then a little further into deep meditation, you might actually kind of hear the thoughts. They'll pass in, pass out. You move a little further, and you will think, "Gosh, I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm just kind of in the present moment." And again, you might not be able to remember. Well, no, at that point, you're unconcerned about where you are or why you're there. Even those thoughts kind of pass by. So this is kind of like the third phase of moving deeper into the deeper states. So you will, and it's kind of funny because you'll be thinking that you're not thinking. All right. And later on, and I'm going to talk about this probably in the next video, later on there is an experience where you will not think that you're not thinking. And that's a whole nother story. You will only remember that you had been there, but that's a whole nother story, and that's another video. But I'm just throwing that in because I'm going to elaborate on that in the next video. But I'm just throwing that in right now so you'll know kind of the progression of of thought when we pass this line from waking consciousness to sleeping consciousness. So at first you kind of forget where you are, what you're doing, and it's like, oh, that's right. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to hold stable in theta. I'm trying not to get into busy thought again. You move a little further, and thoughts will just kind of go through. That's the only way I can explain it. You'll kind of hear them or kind of feel the thoughts, but they'll escape you, if you don't try to latch on to them. And then a little bit later, things clear out and you get good and stable, and you will think, gosh, everything's so clear, and I'm not thinking. Okay. And beyond that, I'm going to talk about in the next video. So, chapter 2 of this video, the course and the nature of the breath. All right. When we're in the waking consciousness and we're working on getting out of busy thought into a more in the moment with the mind or with the breath, it's with the breath in mind. I think I said that right. We might actually use the breath as our focus. Matter of fact, the breath is the most common focus worldwide because it's always with us until it's not with us anymore and we're not with the world anymore, right? Anyway, so, and you might even be controlling the breath, or you might just let the breath kind of follow its own course and feel that in an observer type way. Now, when we cross this threshold into the deeper states of meditation, you might notice that the breath, if you were controlling it before, all of a sudden the breath will find its own course because the motor sensory is shutting down and you're no longer concerned with controlling the breath. So it'll slow down and you will probably begin to breathe, well, not only more shallow, but spontaneously breathe a little bit more with the belly than the entire belly, chest, shoulder type breath, 3-part breath. And let's see, and then you move a little deeper. A really interesting thing. Have you ever heard yourself snore? Okay. Have you ever heard yourself snore and kind of startled you awake? Well, as you move deeper into meditation, the breath finds its own course. You start breathing slowly and fully and mostly from the belly. And you know, you've heard people, maybe heard yourself, breathing like, you know, hear other people when they've kind of dozed off. Instead of all out snoring with the you know, it's that soft snore. As you go into the very deeper portion of your deep meditation, you may actually hear that and feel it. I remember the first time this happened to me, I was kind of leaning back on my couch, as I often do when I meditate, and all of a sudden I was kind of I don't want to say startled, but a curiosity arose. I thought, you know, I thought there was something like a cat laying on my lap, leaning against my belly. And I thought, but I don't have a cat, you know? And then I thought, and then I realized that it was me breathing and I could hear it. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, I'm breathing like a sleeping person. And then, oh, it's because I'm asleep. The body was asleep, but the mind was still awake, aware, and alert. And yes, that does sound crazy. Some of you may have experienced this before. Those of you who have not might be giving me the right now, but that's okay. That's okay. It's a common experience. Not only have I had it, but many other people have it. You know, I've been teaching for a long time, getting a lot of, well, 20 years, this method, and focused on the deeper states. So I get a lot of feedback. I hear a lot of stories, and that is part of it, you know. Now, as you go a little bit deeper, the mind can still be awake and aware, so to speak, but you've gone so far into the deeper states of meditation, and the motor sensory system shuts down so much that you no longer feel the body or feel the breath or aware of that part of yourself. You're in that area that I was referring to earlier. Well, there's two of them. One is where you remember I said that the thing about you're thinking that you're not thinking, and then there's one a little beyond that where you absolutely do not think. You just kind of remember it. Well, in those two areas, the breath can basically the awareness of the breath can just disappear altogether, just like awareness of the body disappears altogether, just like the things we see and hear disappear altogether because everything is shutting down and going so slow. So these these stories, these descriptions of the phenomena are to help you know where you are as you cross this line and go deeper and deeper and deeper into the deeper states. Quick recap on the course and nature of the breath. Here, you can be very easily aware of the breath. You can even use it as your focus to help you stabilize in light meditation and move into the deeper states. In the deeper states, you'll early on, the breath will just you'll notice the breath just kind of relaxes, takes its own course. You know, a little bit further along, you might begin to breathe like a sleeping person because you are indeed asleep, and etc. Until the awareness or the thought of breath just kind of disappears. Okay. Now I can't think of anything else to say about those two phenomena. Um, let's see. Let me check my memory section here. Got thank you transition. Okay, well, all right. I would say I've covered everything I want to cover today. A word of encouragement: spend as much time in any meditation you can, whether it's light meditation or deep meditation. Always encourage people to find time for the deeper states. If and let's see, also upcoming chapters on this series, upcoming videos. The next video, I am going to continue with the deeper states, and I'm going to be talking about those two extremely deep areas of meditation. The one where we think we're not thinking, and the one where all thought disappears. Beyond that video, and I hope a lot of you will be looking forward to both videos, but I want to let you know that I'm going to be getting out of talking about the deeper states, and I'm going to go all the way back to the lighter states of meditation, dealing with busy thought, how to better use our tools of focus and relaxation. Because if you have been meditating, especially if you've been moving into the deeper states, your awareness should have increased quite a bit by now. All right, so I'm going to be dropping back and talking about the lighter states of meditation, and I'm also going to be talking about how to pick a focus that works for you, because not all no one focus fits all. Okay. So I think that's it. Next video is going to be about the deepest of the deepest states of meditation. Video after that, I'm going to start with the lighter states and how to find the focus that works for you. Any questions? Let me know. Any comments? I'd like to hear them or read them. And that's it. We're done for today. Thank you for tuning in.